Okay, first things first, this is just a trial and I have no idea what it's going to look like. And second things second, I'm not going to do this for the whole video. What I'm talking about is this, what am I wearing? A sweater I just dug it out of my cupboard just today. I haven't worn it for years, literally years. And I thought, you know what? I wonder what that's going to look like on the green screen. Now, it could look like one of three things. It could look like I'm just a head hanging here and this sweater is just totally absorbed by the green screen. Or it could be a complete failure and you're just looking at my sweater thinking, that doesn't look anything, there's nothing unusual going on. Worst would be if it was half and half and this was all kind of like mixing it up, sometimes in the green screen, sometimes not. But I thought, you know what, this shoe, that hit of green, lime green, popping volt yellowy green up on the lacing system, that's enough reason for us to try this and see whether or not it makes a difference on the green screen. But won't be doing it for the whole video. So if it did work out, and if it is just a head hanging here, then hopefully you like the look of it. And if it didn't work out, hopefully you had a chuckle and a laugh about it along with me. But enough about that. It's time to get into this shoe today, which has been hanging out behind us here on the green screen. It's an Air Max 95, the Lo Mio. Now I'm going to be getting that wrong because I do not have any roots in Spanish or Portuguese, Caribbean, Southern American, Central American languages. And this is all about the Dominican Republic, which certainly is in that area of the world. So forgive me if I've got that wrong. But what I haven't got wrong is looking at the shoe, the reasons I'm looking at it, and all the details I found about it. Now the New York City pack I was talking about yesterday, we did the Chicago Air Max 90s, and I said that I didn't choose the New York City 95s because there was another 95 that I wanted to look at it, and that's this shoe today. So we're going to go through it. Apparently it was already released last year, May 2020, and I totally missed it, but I'm just not buying that because I don't miss shoes. When you're doing videos every single day on YouTube, like every day, it's really unusual for a shoe to pop up in history and you're like, how did I not see that? But maybe I did, and you can tell me in the comments down below if you guys missed these guys first time around. But they're re-releasing them, I think, on February 27th, and I was like, yes, definitely want to have a look at that shoe. There's a lot going on. So with all that being said, it's time for me to get out of this sweater and stop playing with the green screen and get into this shoe today as we take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 95 Lo Mio. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker channel day. It's毎日アップするので毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And today what we've got to spotlight is my regular grey t-shirt now, which definitely doesn't interfere with the green screen. Hopefully that sweater thing did work out, but if you know my channel, you'll know that I won't cut stuff like that out even if it doesn't work. We're talking about an upcoming release of Nike Air Max 95, and it's a great looking shoe. It already released apparently, like I said, in May 2020, and I totally didn't see it coming back around again on February 27th. Definitely wanted to do this shoe for you guys out there. And I really want to shout out to two different places. The Dominican Republic, which this shoe totally is all about. In fact, it says Dominican Republic in one place on the shoe, and we'll get into that today. But also Puerto Rico, because of these guys right here. These were the Puerto Rico Air Force Ones, which is a great looking shoe, but for some reason it didn't get to sales. They didn't actually get to production. I think it was something to do with flags being mixed up or upside down or something along those lines. So sadly Puerto Rico didn't make it in the Air Force Ones, but apparently Dominican Republic did make it in these Air Max 95s last year, coming back around again this year in just a couple of days time. So we're going to have a look at all the hits on there, and we'll start with one that I'm just flip-flopping on. It's the only thing on this shoe that I was kind of like, I don't know why that's there. It's slightly out of place for me, and what I'm talking about is the lace loops in the lacing system there, which are in a sort of powerful green or volt or some kind of color that's really popping but really in contrast to the rest of the shoe. The rest of the shoe is all about red, white and blue, basically the Dominican Republic flag, and it's really a white shoe and then hits of those other colors. But then you've got this popping green on there, and I was like, oh, why is that there? It doesn't really fit in. But then I saw this picture here of the 3M being really thrust off of the shoe. I was like, you know what, actually that's kind of cool. So it depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, they're great, and then other times it's like, maybe not. So I'm a bit 50-50 on them. But what I'm not 50-50 on is this shoe right here. It was a Vapor Max, the Evo or Exo, I think it's Evo, that was dropping recently. Great shoe, mashup of tons of different shoes, but I talked about that particular feature on there, which I said was the 1995, the Air Max 95's tongue branding, but on the lateral side of that shoe. And then if we jump to the tongue branding on this shoe, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And again, it mimics that red, white and blue feel, which comes from the Dominican Republic flag. And it's I think it's something like red on white and then white on blue or something like that up in the tongue branding, whichever order the colours in. You don't need to listen to me, you can just look at it on the green screen behind me here. So so in contrast to the lacing and the green sort of vibrance below, you've got a more standard tongue branding at the top there. And then when we come down from that, another sort of semi-surprise on the shoe is it's not unusual for 95s to play around with the layers of horizontal that run through the lateral side of the shoe. I think I've counted up to 6 different layers available in there, and sometimes all 6 are in different materials, or sometimes they alternate between 2 different materials. But for these guys, they just stuck with all white and then one of them in grey running through the shoe. And I think that works because of that tiny little line that hopefully I'm zooming in on here, which is some kind of gold or multicolour feel to it right at the top of all those horizontal layers there. I'm not entirely sure which, whether it's multicolour or gold, but whatever it is, it really has a pop of sort of quality which comes off because the rest of the layers are in duller, sort of more simple tones of white and grey. And speaking of those simple tones, we're going to get around to the heel and look at the materials on the leather and also the heel branding. So we'll start with the heel branding back here because it's in red and it says, I think it's it's Republica Dominicana on one word on each shoe in red with the red swoosh below it, which is again going to that red, white and blue of the Dominican Republic flag. But then you go sort of down from that across a little bit to the lateral side of the heel and you see the swoosh on the lateral side only, and this time it's in that deep blue of the Dominican Republic flag, and that contrasts really well with the back end of the shoe. And again, this is another place to look at and think, wow, that's really has a story to tell, a narrative that runs through the shoe. And again, those 3M branding lace loops up above sort of don't make sense, and in that narrative don't really know what the choice was in that. But it's not my choice. I don't design shoes, I just review them and talk about them. So speaking about reviewing shoes, let's look at the shoe even further from the side. When I looked at this from the lateral side, I assumed it was some kind of light yellow gum sole, which is very hopefully obvious on the green screen here, and you can see looking from the side a really thin streak of what looks like yellow or light gum sole on the outsole. But then you flip them upside down and you see this and you're like, there ain't no yellow in sight there, it's all white, and if it's any kind of white, it's a translucent kind of white. Now I think what we're looking at here is the left shoe, which has a big panel of red branding right in the middle of it, and you'd be forgiven for assuming that the other shoe has exactly the same on there, but it doesn't. It has blue to go again with that red, white and blue story of the Dominican Republic flag, but also it says the name of the shoe, Lo Mio. I think I'm getting that right. I think it means close friend in Dominican. I don't even know what language people in the Dominican Republic speak. It's terrible. People could tell me in the comments down below though. But it does say that on the other shoe in blue. So you've got red, white and blue again featuring this time on the outsole to go with the story of the shoe. So coming back out, looking at the whole shoe, Air Max 95. I talked about how I was looking at the Air Max 95. I was thinking about looking at it yesterday for the city pack that's coming along, but chose to go with the Chicago 90s, and that freed me up to go with these 95 today, even though apparently this shoe has already been around the block once before this year, but I just last year, but I somehow managed to miss it. Although I'm dubious, I really am dubious about whether or not I missed this shoe, because I do this every single day, so I'll be surprised. But definitely let me know in the comments down below if this shoe's already been around and you've seen it before somewhere, and those Puerto Ricos that never came to pass, whether or not you got a pair, or you know someone who got a pair, or if you know more about the reasons why that didn't work out. And finally, tell me what you thought at the start of this video, whether it worked out with that green screen, with me playing with my sweater and wearing a green sweater on the green screen, and seeing how that turned out. Maybe it was a success, maybe it was a failure, but like I said, all of my videos I always leave that kind of stuff in, even if it is mistakes or like my kid kicking off in the background or my dogs barking at each other or whatever. I always try and leave that stuff in, so hopefully it made sense. Even if it didn't, hopefully it still made you laugh. For now though, it's time for me to sign off and finish up this video. I think I covered everything there was to cover on these Air Max 95s that are releasing, like I said, again on February the 27th. So hopefully you're looking forward to this shoe, and hopefully you're enjoying this content. And if you are enjoying this content, I can trust that I'll be here every single day, and that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.